All right, some easy questions to start with.
Okay.
Your name, your company's name, your position, and what you guys do.
Yes, I'm Manuel Aguirre. I'm the VP of Supply Chain Electrification for Industrial. So at Industrial, we are a Raleigh, North Carolina-based small company, software company at the core. We've been around for over 10 years.
Okay.
And at the core, what we do is energy management software. So we work very heavily in the cold chain space with refrigerated storage facilities, and we help them manage basically the cost and the usage of the energy. So we combine data on the energy side that we measure through our own infrastructure and IoT devices, and we combine with data from warehouse management systems, from TMS, from the utilities, from the weather data,
Right.
and we bring insights for them to manage the cost of that energy, reduce their emissions, and measure a new KPI that we call energy intensity of their production.
Yeah.
So we can tell, for example, a chicken producing company how many kilowatt hours of energy go into each chicken wing.
Oh wow! Oh
So-
wow! That's interesting.
So, and that way we move energy costs from a kind of fixed cost to a cost of goods sold.
Yeah, right.
And that point, then you can manage, right? You can manage that, and you can manage. We call that the energy intensity of production.
That's so interesting. I'm curious though. Is a really hot wing have more energy use than a not so hot wing?
Yeah. You know, more. If it's hotter, more energy.
More
for
energy.
sure.
There you go.
But we focus mostly on the refrigeration side.
Ah, right,
So
okay.
that's most of the energy that we measure. So that's what Industrial has been doing for the last 10 years.
Yep.
I joined the company 9 months ago, and my job is to expand the focus from facility energy management to supply chain. So
right.
we are looking at truck electrification,
Right.
reefer trailer
Right.
electrification. And one big opportunity that we are pursuing is the reefer trailer. So because we are already integrated we're pretty much, some of our top customers represent 70-75% of the US cold storage market.
Yeah.
So our platform is widely deployed across this industry, both in the US, in South America, in Europe, and other parts of the world.
Very
And because of that, we have data on how these reefer trailers are being utilized. We know when they come in, we know how long they sit around in the yards,
right.
and then when they connect to the docks and how long they're sitting, basically idling the TRU, the transport refrigeration unit,
Yeah.
which sits in the front of the trailer. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Yeah, I do. I am.
But basically, it's a diesel engine that sits in the front of the trailer. It's autonomous from the truck. So the truck drops the trailer and leaves.
Right.
And then that unit keeps running and running and running, burning fuel, creating emissions. And that's not one trailer, right? In these facilities, you can have 100 trailers doing that at the
Yep.
same time.
Yep.
So if you walk the yard, right, you can smell the exhaust, you can hear all the noise. And that's where we see the opportunity. It's like when those units are at the facility, there's more advanced units that are hybrid, right?
Right.
That you can plug them in, and then you can run them on electricity. And then you can
Right.
eliminate the emissions, but also you can cut operational costs by over 50%.
I mean, my question, you answered a lot of it, but I'm
Okay.
going to just kind of ask it in a different way. You know, we're in a very tumultuous time in the supply chain industry, right? There's so many challenges and disruptions that are occurring. What are you seeing or hearing are the biggest challenges in the supply chain that you are either facing as a company, your own company,
Right.
or your customers are facing? What is that for you?
Well, I mean, the food supply chain and supply chain in general, right, doesn't run on very high margins.
I see.
So any type of disruption can impact the bottom line pretty significantly. So you have two things. One is how you manage those disruptions, those peaks. You can call it, energy peaks caused by weather events. It could be caused by any externality hitting those facilities. That's one thing, right? Managing those costs. But the other part is then the weather, not the weather, sorry, the emission side.
Oh, I see.
And there was more action, legislative action going after emissions, how to reduce them, right? So, but in our world, you can attack those, and those are not mutually exclusive. You can both be environmentally sustainable and be economically sustainable at the same time if you attack it from the right angle. So we're trying to help those companies not have to make a trade-off between, you know, those two, because we know they run on thin margins, and we know that they,
Very interesting. Now for a fun question.
Yeah.
If you could have coffee with anybody at all, alive or dead, who would it be and why?
Oh man, that's a tough one. So I'm a big fan of new technologies and innovation and how to look at, you know, big problems from a new point of view. So probably I would pick Steve Jobs.
Oh, wow. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he was a big, you know, thinker and a big disruptor. And I think it would be nice to, you know, have him back with us and get him.
It would be nice to have a coffee with him about 40 years ago when he was giving out shares.
Yeah, exactly. A coffee and get some insights at the time.
Yeah, for $20, I'll have a million shares. Well, look, thank you, my friend. It was a pleasure to talk to you today, and thanks for coming
My
by.
pleasure. Yeah, great
Thank you very
to see you.